Have you ever wondered why there can be two different people with the same weight but looking completely different? It's not about the weight that tells you how a person looks like or how healthy she is. It's more about the type of fat that is deep in our bodies. There are different kinds of fat, and in this video I'm gonna tell you what kind of fat has to be targeted to get actually lean. Welcome, my name is Matt David and I'm here to help you train smarter, push harder and build real lasting strength. And never forget, keep always believing in yourself. And now let's get back to the video. First of all, the most important question you all probably ask yourself, what is visceral fat? So visceral fat is basically the main driver why people can lose hardly weight, or also why people that are actually doing a lot of sports have a fast plateau and are hard to losing more weight or actually getting defined as they would like to. Can have multiple factors why, but we're gonna come back to that later. So visceral fat. Visceral fat is the kind of fat that is deep in your belly, that is wrapped around your organs, around your liver, around your stomach, around your intestines. So it's not just a fat, just a soft fat under your skin. Unlike subcutaneous fat that you can basically pinch on your belly or whatever on the outside, visceral fat is not only invisible like with the poor eye, but it's also much more concerning for your overall health if you have too much of it. People with high visceral fat amount are more likely or more have a high probability for heart attacks or type 2 diabetes, as well as other sicknesses like high blood pressure or certain cancer types. And very often it happens that a normal looking person that doesn't even is overweighted, that he or she carries much more visceral fat than she even knows. The good news, visceral fat responds very strong to healthy strategies. Regular strength training, daily activity, walks, healthy nutrition, also very important, low sugar intake, and also processed foods. You should definitely stay away from processed foods if you want to decrease your visceral body fat. Now I'm gonna bring you 5 points which are actually showing you how to keep that visceral fat in control and how the best strategies work towards reducing in a constant and continuous way. Number one, it's the reality check. You have to be aware of how much overweighted you actually are. What is your actual stand? Most people actually underestimate their current body fat. They think they have much less body fat percentage than they actually have. Like I told you, a lot of people that are not even overweighted or not even looking overweighted on the outside might have a lot of visceral fat, which can be not very healthy for us. The next point, what is important to know the right measurements. While a lot of people use their scale as a measurement, body percentage of fat is much more indicating and telling us much more about our current situation than the scale is. It's also very important to keep in mind that the higher percentage of body fat you actually have, the more risk you have to get sick, to get certain type of diabetes, high blood pressure, heart diseases or sleep apnea. So when you keep your focus on the body fat percentage rather than on your scale, you're doing basically much more towards your actual health. While you try to approach at least 20, 25 to maybe even 15% of body fat percentage, you basically have much higher chances of reducing all the risks that I was talking about. At 15%, you really start seeing great definition. 10% we are moving towards bodybuilding and towards, as we call it, shredded S. While the scale might tell you faster results, especially when you, in the beginning, let's say, you reduce your carb intake very drastically, your body responds to that pretty fast because you lose a lot of water. So your scale might tell you that you made huge progress, especially in the first week or two. You will see like the pounds falling, and you will feel like a hero. But after like maybe 1 or 2 weeks, you will realize it's actually harder, or it's slowing down, or you will stand for a while and you might get discouraged. if you keep looking on your scale. Maybe in the beginning you might be okay with looking at the scale and having an actual diet and focused diet on what kind of direction. Is it low carb, is it low fat, whatever. I would always recommend rather low carb than low fat, because you have much more important essentials in a keto or a low carb diet than in a low fat diet. So just for that part. So you can do it in the beginning, but then you should be aware that focusing on losing the actual fat and basically measuring or using measurement of your body fat percentage as a measurement for your progress is the right way to do. You have to be also aware about the psychological factor. Like I said, in the beginning you might lose a lot of water, definitely some fat as well, but there will be a point where you come to a plateau where it goes slower, and then there will be again phases where it goes faster, but the consistency is the key. So the more consistent you stay, the less you will be disrupted through or demotivated through this little up and downs that happen on the way. So if you set your goals, set them realistic, make them smaller, better smaller, and keep them consistent. Keep yourself on a journey rather than on a straight goal that you want to lose 20 pounds. Because I can basically promise you that it's not gonna fulfill what you want. It's gonna backfire. In most of the cases, that kind of stuff backfires faster than we actually want. And we gain the same amount of weight back that we actually lost. Then we can ask ourselves, was it worth? Or is there maybe another approach that would make it more worth? And yes, there definitely is. The second point is the non-negotiable calorie deficit. While 1 pound has around 3,500 calories, it's not the exact thing for each body, because everybody is very individual and it's a metabolism as well. Some bodies are burning it faster, some slower, but that's around the measurement. If you want to lose weight, you have to be always aware that you have to make sure losing weight always lies on calorie deficit. You have to make sure that you're around 300 to 500 calories in a deficit every day. You cannot just eat more because you feel fine or you don't feel stuffed, or maybe you're hungry, which has also multiple factors, especially about it. Blood sugar levels are the main reason why you get actually hungry, or this cravings, let's say. And why I say 300 to 500 is very important, because the deficit is not too big. If you decide to make a deficit from 1000 or over 1000 calories per day, it's gonna block your metabolism. It's gonna stop it. And you basically get a backfire from that kind of strategy. You have to basically become kind of a nerd if you want to keep everything in order. You have to make sure that you write down your progress, that you write and measure everything that you do. In the beginning, you don't need to stress yourself too much, because like I said, you will lose a lot of pounds if you just start eating less that you already do. Let's say you have like your 4 meals a day with a lot of fast food. You just exchange, even when you start the slowest way, you just exchange 1. That's already a progress. Next week you can exchange 2 per day. Next week, the week after, so the third week, that would be 3 meals exchanged with a healthy meal. And that's how you already see progress. We are talking from the smallest piece to the biggest piece. And the more steps you move forward, the more precise you have to be, the more specific you have to get in your progress, and also in your measurement and in your documentation. And after each adjustment, you will see another progress. When you do it wisely, when you have the right strategies, you will see a progress, and again, you will hit a plateau. Then you will have to figure out, okay, what could be the next step and what else could you adjust? And then you will see the next progress, and then it goes on from there. That's a journey. That journey never stops if you follow the right paths, if you know the right strategies, the right solutions and approaches, then you will definitely come towards your goal. And don't forget metabolic adaptation. That means your body will fight back. The leaner it gets, the more it will try to fight against you. And especially when you come from a bigger mountain, the fight back could be even stronger the leaner you get, because your body was used to the mass for a longer period of time. Maybe for years, maybe even for decades, something like that. The progress can be very fast, even in the first year or 2, but always be aware it's not as easy as it seems. Even you make fast progress, be always aware of this kind of hurdles that they could happen, because your body basically wants to go to the familiar state. That's how it works. All right, number 3, the training. What kind of training is good for fat loss? What actually brings you to the point where you burn the most fat? So strength training, basically non-negotiable. You want to keep your muscles, right? You want to keep your muscles, become leaner, look better, feel stronger. You don't want to lose muscles. You don't want to become weak. That's why you have to build your muscles. You have to push in your resistance trainings at least 3 to 4 times a week and progressively, continuously increase your loads. And the good part also about muscle building, the more muscles you build, the better your metabolism becomes. Because each pound of muscles burns 6 to 7 calories per day in rest. Just resting, doing nothing. So if you lose muscles, or if you're not building muscles, you're basically stopping your metabolism all the time. You're blocking it, you're not working towards a better metabolism, you're actually working against your metabolism. Resistance training, I always recommend the basics. Compound exercises, which are very important, are burning the most amount of fat, the most amount of calories, because almost your whole body is working in that exercise, because it has to keep the strength and the tension all over your body. Not only in a simple movement, like sitting in a machine and working towards the biceps, or just chest press. If you have a bench press, or even if you do push-ups, you have your whole body flex. If you do dips, you have your whole body flex. If you make squats as well, or deadlifts, all these compound exercises have a much more significant effect on muscle building, muscle structure, and fat burning. And of course, never forget your cardio. For most of the time, you can do cardio. It depends always what kind of job you have. If you do walk or around the day enough, or if you're rather someone who sits a lot, then you always have to adjust that, and you always have to compensate that. So if you work less, you have to make more cardio, especially walking more. That's a very healthy way of cardio, where you can basically talk but not sing. That's like a little measurement for me. A healthy way of doing cardio and additional fat loss is where you can basically speak, but you cannot sing. That kind of intensity level. Maybe you can do that 1 or 2 times a week, and another time, at least 1 time, a HIIT session, high intensity interval. I will do a 4 times 4. That's just my approach that I'm doing. 4 minutes intensity, 4 minutes slow, 4 minutes intensity, and I'm doing that for 4 cycles. That's actually very good for the VO2 max, which is also a very significant indicator for overall health. But I'm gonna talk about that in a future video. To the training frequency, or the training volume that you should put in, don't train over an hour 10. That's like, especially in the beginning, train 30 minutes to 45 minutes is a good range, especially when you're starting, when you're getting started, when you're becoming a professional and an advanced athlete. Actually, you can always stay under an hour. It's not about the length of the workout, it's actually about the intensity that you get done in the time. You need to stimulate your muscles and not oversaturate your muscles with tension, because then the recovery will slow you down, will slow the progress down, your metabolism, your overall feeling, and that will definitely motivate you. Number 4, what kind of nutrition is actually working? There are different approaches how you can actually do your diet, and what way, what approaches. It can be, like I said earlier, a low carb, it could be a low fat, but always keep in mind to keep the proteins high. At least 0.8 to 1 gram protein per pound of body weight. That's a healthy, proven method of approaching a diet, because protein is helping you rebuild muscles, recover faster, and also increase the thermic effect. So it helps you basically burning calories better. My plate method is fill off the half of the plate with green veggies, a salad, whatever. The first quarter with protein, the other quarter with complex carbs, like potatoes, like whole grain stuff, brown rice, wild rice, whatever it is that you like, quinoa. All these are great energy sources. All these are carbs that get digested slower. That means that are not affecting your blood sugar levels, that are not giving you this blood sugar spikes and pushing you down like falling from a mountain after a sugar shock. People were saying in the old structures that eating after 6 p.m. is not healthy and that you retain your fat when you eat after 6. That's not really true, because it always depends of what kind of schedule you have, what you are eating actually at night, when your workout was, what you're doing on the next day. There are so many factors that are basically not allowing this theory to be true, that you cannot eat after 6 p.m. And that's also how your body works. So if you had a workout in the evening, let's say after work, you come home at 7, 8 or even 9 o'clock, it's very wise to eat something, because your body needs that to actually recover faster, to fill your glycogen receptors, your amino levels, and to decrease the stress levels after intense workout. It might also happen that you might get hungry after a workout. And if you don't eat, you don't get enough sleep, what leads you again to the fact that you don't get enough rest, and your recovery gets a hit because of that. So there are many reasons why you should eat, especially after workout. I'm not saying that if your workout was at 11 a.m. and you're basically doing intermittent fasting till 6 p.m., then you maybe shouldn't eat anything else. But that's also another frame, another approach, which we are not talking in that video. Regarding carbs and fats, I would say it's very individual, always depends on the diet that you're making. But if you're on a low-fat diet, I would not make less than 50 grams of fat per day. And on a keto diet, it depends how your body is configured, how much you weigh and everything. It has to be measured more precisely than on a low-fat diet. But the most important factor is definitely protein, so keep that at 0.8 to 10 grams per body weight pound. Don't forget to drink, that's a very important factor. You have to hydrate your body to basically fill it with the fuel that it needs all the time. And number 5 is the mental game and the long-term strategies. Is the mental game and the long-term success strategies. It's very important, as we always see this perfect bodybuilders or models on social media, and it's very easy to compare ourselves to them while we're starting our journey. And even if we are years in our journey, it's very easy to compare ourselves, and that might be discouraging in that way that we try maybe to do something that is not the best for our health. Let's say any kind of cheating could be, and that's very easy in that kind of society, but it's definitely not the right way. You have to be focused on yourself. If you're focused on yourself, you will always make progress, because you will not look onto others. You will see yourself walking on that ladder, and even if it's sometimes slower, you will see yourself instead of other people. There is nobody to harm you, nobody to bring you down except you. And if you let that happen, it can bring you down faster and harder than you even think. A good motivation is taking pictures, going to a store where you get some new clothes, or when you actually lose so much weight that you don't fit in your old clothes anymore. And that becomes very funny seeing that. You know, you can give yourself these little treats on the way, on the progress. When you make that, when you reach certain goals, either body fat or maybe even in the beginning, when you lose pounds and you lose also like a decent amount of fat that you need new clothes. That might be a very good point to give yourself a little treat and get some new clothes as a little motivation. And you will feel automatically much better, much happier. You will feel like you are actually doing progress. You are actually doing that what you always wanted to do. But now you broke through. You kept your discipline. You kept your motivation. You kept your standards. You just repeated them over and over again. It was you. Or also if you want to treat yourself, going out with your friends and you are on a strict diet and your friends wanted to go to a good restaurant and you're already thinking, oh, you're on a diet and that might bring you out. Don't think that way. Just accept and go and give yourself a little treat in that way, that you spend time with your friends, you have some quality time with your loved ones. And when you're there, you look for the best solution that fits into your diet. And if you're 10 or 15 grams of fat over your daily limit at this night, so be it. Don't treat yourself too much like a machine, because then you might lose the connection to your own nature. that's not the outcome we are actually looking for. And that will also lead you to a maintaining mindset, you know? The more you have all these little things coming up on your journey, the more you will adapt and the more you will pave the way that it becomes actually your path, like a natural path. It will feel much more natural than it was in the very beginning, or also after months. The longer you keep that up, the more longer you adjust, the more natural it will feel, and the sooner you will see like the differences in your life will show up, and you will be looking back and thinking about the moment where you were thinking that that moment you are already in would be impossible. But as you see now, it wasn't impossible. You just did it. You just stayed on the line, you kept going, you repeated what you have to do, and now look at you. Look what you achieved. Alright, I hope you all liked the video. Please subscribe, follow, whatever, leave a comment, maybe you have some more insights for me, or share your opinion, share your journey. I would really appreciate that, and I definitely come back to you. I write you back, I answer every single comment that I find, and I'm really appreciating every single follow and like and opinion that comes to me. Bye.